Hello everyone, this is Gear204 here, and welcome back to another Minecraft Cold War vehicle tutorial. In this tutorial, we'll be going ahead and building the British Centurion Mk.3. The Centurion was the primary British Army main battle tank of the post-World War II period. It was introduced in 1945 with the very first Mark I version, and saw service all the way up into the 1980s as a frontline main battle tank. It also was used as a derivative chassis of many other different variants, such as mine clearing and engineering type vehicles. But overall, really awesome tank and a primary British main battle tank for quite a long period of almost 40 years. So it was a very large chunk of time this tank was around. There were several versions that came later on with the Centurion. The Mark III was one of the early versions, but there were many versions that came later on with some upgrades here and there, mainly to armament and armor to just kind of keep it more competitive with the ever-growing main battle tanks of other countries. But yeah, the British Centurion Mark III should be an awesome tank for a lot of you guys to build, and pretty enjoyable, as it's been a long time since we visited the Centurion. So with that though, I do want to mention a quick few things. First off, we will be using a couple tools here that are going to be available mainly only for Java users, but I do want to go ahead and mention them so that those players can get it ready. The first feature is going to be the use of invisible item frames, and the invisible item frame command is kind of weird. It varies depending on whatever version of Minecraft you're on, so I would definitely recommend looking it up to make sure you got the right command for your version. I know specifically from 1.20 to onward, it changed from being the standard, so it's a little different. So just look up whatever version you're on and see what that command is going to be. And then the next one is going to be the use of a debug stick, and that command will be up on screen now. So definitely use that debug stick. We're going to be using it for a few things here and there throughout the build, just to kind of improve things. So definitely take those into consideration. With that though, let's go ahead and dive into the tutorial by beginning with our first layer, which will be layer number 1. Alright guys, so moving into our first layer, we have layer 1. As you can probably tell already, I do have a resource pack on. It is available for download in my video description, but I am going to be using a resource pack. It mainly just changes the look of the prismarine a little bit more, so it's a little bit of a brighter green, and just kind of makes it blend a lot better with the green terracotta we'll be using. So just keep that in mind. I will be offering alternatives for block usage here and there if you are not using my resource pack. So with that, let's go ahead and get started here. Now the first thing we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to be placing down a polished deep slate, or sorry, not polished, just a regular deep slate upside down stair. Behind that, we're going to place down some black concrete. Now we also want to go ahead and grab ourselves some polished blackstone stairs, and we're going to place down 2 polished blackstone stairs. Now we're going to repeat this pattern of black concrete and 2 polished blackstone stairs 2 more times. So we have black concrete and our 2 stairs, and then black concrete and our 2 stairs, going back like that. And then we just want to place down a deep slate upside down stair here on the very back. Once that's all done, we're going to go ahead and then take our dark prismarine stairs. We're going to build a row of 3 across. And then we want to go ahead and place down a fence gate that is going to be right here. Let me see if I can grab it. There we go. Struggling a little bit there. Well, we have our fence gates like that to both sides. And then also in my resource pack, mossy stone brick is in this color here, so it's pretty much a solid green. I would recommend continuing to use the dark prismarine slabs, or just the prismarine slabs in general instead. So again, I'm using the dark prismarine in my resource pack. I'd recommend just normal prismarine, and for the anywhere I'm using the stone brick here, I would recommend using, again, just the prismarine you've been using before. So just keep that in mind going throughout the build. And then also we'll be using our item frames here on these fence gates, and in those item frames we're going to go ahead and place down some tripwire hooks, and we're just going to go ahead and rotate those so that they face downwards like so. We're going to go ahead and place down another deep slate upside down stair here. Then we're going to place down our same track design we did for the other side, or our road wheel design I should say. So again, we're just going to replicate the same thing as the other side. Really, I'm not going to go into too much detail about it because we already did it, but we should have that set up now for the tracks here of our tank. Now for the very front, we're going to go ahead and grab ourselves dark oak wood trapdoors, and we're going to place down a row of 3 of trapdoors across. We're going to place down item frames on the side of the trapdoors, as well as tripwire hooks in those item frames, which we're going to rotate so that they face downwards. We're going to go ahead and then take our dark prismarine, and we're going to place down rows of 3 of our prismarine all the way across, filling in the space here for the bottom of the vehicle. So again, just filling this in completely, and that's going to create the base of it like so. Now, after that's all done, we're going to go ahead and then grab ourselves some standard item frames. So we're not going to be using invisible ones for this step here, but I need to see if I can find them. There we are. We're going to place down our item frames here on the side of the black concrete, as well as green stained glass panes in those item frames. And obviously the same thing will be done to the other side here. And if you're on Java, we're also going to go ahead and place down a dark oak button on the side of these blocks in the item frame. So again, that's going to be only a Java feature, but if you are on Java, go ahead and do it because it looks really good for the wheels. It makes them a nice detail. Now, the next thing we have here is the use of these banners. Now, I'm not going to show you guys in a Loom exactly how to make them because I can explain them pretty easily. They're pretty straightforward. Basically, you're just going to go ahead and take 2 green banners. You're going to split 1 green banner in half with black on the left side. And then the other banner, you're going to go ahead and split it in half with black on the right side. Then for both banners, you're just going to go ahead and do the horizontal line that goes directly across the center there of the banner. And it's going to create these 2 designs here. It's really straightforward to do, pretty simple. And all you're going to do here is place these banners on the side of these polished blackstone stairs just like that to go ahead and make your road wheels. So again, it's very simple and easy to do. And it basically just creates that design there. So very simple stuff, and that's going to complete everything we have for layer 1. Here is a top-down view of what that looks like from up above. And with that, we'll be going ahead and moving into our next layer, which will be layer number 2. Moving into our next layer, we have layer number 2. For layer 2 to start with, we're going to place down a prismarine slab on top of this trapdoor here, and then we want to go ahead and place down an end portal frame that's going to be to the left side of the tank, and then a deep slate tile slab to the right side. So it's going to look like this here from the front. We then want to go ahead and grab ourselves some green shulker boxes, and we're going to place these sideways along the sides. On the side facing forward, we're going to place down a dark oak trapdoor and make sure it's closed against the side of the block, as well as an item frame to both sides. And in that item frame, we're going to be going ahead and placing down a cobweb. So you'll place down a cobweb like so, and then a dark oak button on the side of that shulker box. Again, if you're on Java, and only if you're on Java, you can place that. Then we want to go and place down a row 3 of green terracotta across that center space. And coming off the green terracotta to both sides, we're going to place down a dark prismarine upside down stair with the back of the stair facing away from the shulker box. On the side of the stair, we're going to place down a dark oak sign to both sides, just like that. Then taking our green terracotta, we're going to place down a row of 5 across, then a second row of 5. Then we have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 rows going across. And actually, we're going to stop at 6. So we have 6 here. So we're just going to go ahead and cut this back 2 by 2 on the sides here. But yeah, you're going to have 6 rows all the way across, and then 2 rows of 3. So my apologies on that. And then we're just going to take our dark oak trapdoors and place down 6 along the sides here for the side skirts over the tracks here. So just like that. Then we want to go ahead and place down a row of 2 of prismarine top slabs. And we're going to go ahead and then place down dark oak signs on the side of these slabs, like that, going along the side. Again, just kind of creating our side skirts that the tank has. Then we're going to place down a green shulker box, again, on its side, like so. We'll use the same technique we did in the front here, so an item frame. And then we're going to place down a cobweb and a dark oak button if you're on Java for our sprocket wheels. And same thing will be done over here on this side as well. Then we want to place down a dark oak sign on the side here of these blocks, just like that. And then in the middle space here, we're going to place down a row 3 of prismarine top slabs. I also went ahead and added a little bit of detail. This is going to be better for your invisible item frames, but we're going to place down an invisible item frame to both sides here. And we're just going to place down some chains at like a 45-degree angle. So chains on both sides, and they're kind of just some like extra like, chains draped on the back here or something of that sort. So that's mainly just what that's trying to recreate there. Anyways, though, once you have that all done, that is going to wrap up everything we have for layer 2. Here, again, is a top-down view of what that should look like with that all complete. And with that, we'll be going ahead and diving into our next layer, which will be layer number 3. Moving on to layer number 3, the first thing we're going to go ahead and start by doing is placing down an item frame right here. And on top of that, or in that item frame, we're going to place down some light gray stained glass. And this is just meant to recreate this little windshield that they could kind of pop up right here in front of the driver's little hatch. Once that's done, we then want to go ahead and place down a dark oak button that is going to be right next to it on the center there. Then taking our green carpet, we're going to place down 2 green carpets on top of the shulker box and this upside down stair, as well as the detector rail directly behind it. So just like that. We then want to place down a prismarine slab here. If you're not on Java, if you're on Java using my resource pack, we're going to be using some mossy stone brick. And then we're going to place down 2 prismarine slabs over from that. Behind this, we're going to go ahead and place down a row of andesite walls and then a row of green terracotta. To the sides, we're going to place down again the mossy stone brick or prismarine, depending on what you got going on. And then behind that, we're going to go ahead and grab ourselves a prismarine stair or mossy stone brick and place it on both sides. And then just 2 more slabs of the mossy stone brick or prismarine back. And again, we're going to go ahead and place down another row of 3 of green terracotta across. And then this time we're going to do 1 row, and then we're going to do a prismarine wall to both sides. So it's going to look like this here for the back of the turret. Now, once that's done, we're going to go ahead and also place down item frames. If you're on Java, we can place down item frames on the side of these blocks here. And then we can place down some green terracotta like that for a little bit of detail. And then also this right here just kind of comes down to personal preference. For me, if you're not on Java, I'll place down an item frame here and then a black bed in the item frame like that for the driver's viewport. You can do both these item frames on Java. If you're not on Java, unfortunately, you have to kind of pick and choose between the two. I personally would probably prefer the bed over this little windshield here, but that is up to you guys on what you want to prioritize on having there in that space. Anyways, though, once we get back to this section here, we're going to go ahead and place down a row of deep slate slabs across for the vents here, as well as we're going to be placing down a redstone comparator to both sides as well. So again, it's going to look like that there. Then we want to place down another prismarine slab here in the center, and this is where things are going to get a little funky. So first off here, if you're not on Java, we're going to go ahead and place down end portal frames around the space like that. So that's just something to show like the elevation going back here for the tank. However, if you are on Java, we're going to be going ahead and using some green beds in our debug stick here. So what we're going to do is we're going to place down a green bed like this, and we're going to use our debug stick and focus on the end of the bed. We're actually going to go ahead and rotate this like so. Then we can delete the front of it. And we're going to do the same thing over here. So it's a little weird, but that's what we're going to do for it. And we're going to do the same thing here. So we'll just rotate this like that, and then break that bed. And we want to rotate it so that the legs here are facing outwards to the sides. And we're going to do the same thing here. So we can just kind of rotate it there, break that front there, and like this. And you might run into the problem here where you have to, replace it. It's a little weird in the placement of beds. If I'm being honest, I still don't fully understand the whole placement of them, but just kind of messing around with it. As you can see here, we're just going to go ahead and rotate these around like so. And again, we're going to do the same thing here and just rotate it around. So as you can see there, we pretty much have that all situated, so it looks something like this here is what you want. So again, that's going to be for my Java players, and if not on Java, then you'll just be using the end portal frames instead. Then we want to go and place down an item frame on these blocks here, and in those item frames, I just went ahead and put like an axe like this and rotated it. You can also put like a shovel if you wanted to. So yeah, I think on this side I did a shovel. Just put some iron tools in it. Looks pretty fine for that. And then again, if you're on Java, we'll place a dark oak sign here on the side of the bed there. Then as we go back here, we're going to place down a dark prismarine slab to both sides. And then we're going to go and take our daylight detectors and place down a row of 3 of daylight detectors and turn those to the night mode like so for some vents, as well as some wither skeleton skulls on top of the shulker boxes. So just like that. And then an item frame on these 2 daylight detectors, and we're going to place down a tripwire hook in those item frames. So just like this. And once we have that all done, that is going to wrap up everything we have there for layer number 3. So a bit of a complex layer. But once you have that all done, this is what it should look like from up above for Java. And again, there might be some changes depending on what version you're building this in. Anyways, though, that's it for layer 3. And with that, let's move on to layer number 4. Moving on to our next layer, we have layer number 4. For layer 4, to go ahead and get started here, we're going to place down a row of sticky pistons in my shader pack. So it's just going to be, or my resource pack, they're going to be kind of this andesite color. If you don't have this resource pack, I'd probably recommend just using some andesite stairs instead. So if this was an andesite stair, you'd have a row of 3 of stairs like that as an alternative. Once that's done, though, we're going to take our prismarine slabs. We're going to place down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 slabs forward. For this, I went ahead and used some gray material, so you can find a dark gray block. For me, in my resource pack, this is cobbled deep slate, but you can also just use polished black stone, which I'm going to use on the tip here. But mainly, I was just trying to do a little bit of shading here where you have more thicker, gun smoke from up here than back there. But basically, that's what we're creating there. So you can just place down 2 polished black stone if you want to as well and have the same effect. We're going to go ahead and then place down an item frame here, then a black concrete block in the item frame, and we'll also just place down a dark oak sign on the front here if you're on Java for the front of the gun. We're also going to place down an item frame on this block here, and then a black concrete block in the item frame, as well as item frames on the sides of these blocks as well. And we're also going to go ahead and place down a tripwire hook in those item frames like that. Now this next portion right here is going to be a little interesting. We're going to go ahead and need to actually delete this block here. So we're going to delete it, and we're going to place down some black candles on top of it. Same thing over here. We're going to replace it with a full block, do our black candles, and then underneath that block we'll delete it, and then the candles will stay, and we can place down our slab back. So it'll look like this. And again, you'll have the option here for Java. We can do both. If you're not on Java, you'll have to probably decide between these two. I would use the candles instead of having that tripwire hook there in the item frame. Anyways, though, after that's done, we're going to take our green terracotta. We're going to place down our row 3 across, and then we want to place down an end portal frame to the sides of that row 3 of green terracotta. We're going to place down a second row of 3 after that, and then on the right side here, we're going to place down a mossy cobblestone wall. Prismarine wall, mossy cobblestone. It's basically this color here. You can also use the mossy cobblestone as well as an alternative. Then what we want to do here is we're going to go ahead and place down a mossy stone brick block, or you can just go ahead and leave it green terracotta. Either will work. We're going to place down an item frame. In that item frame, we're going to place down some green stained glass pane. And then if you're on Java, we can also go ahead and place down a dark oak button on the side there as well. So just create that little hatch on the side of the tank. Once that's done, we're going to place down another row of 3 of green terracotta across the space here. We're going to place down another mossy cobblestone wall on the side here. And then we're going to place down a zombie head on the right side. On the very back, we're going to place down a green terracotta block, a mossy cobblestone wall to both sides of that. On the middle block here, we're going to place down an item frame, and in that item frame, we're going to place down a green bed going upwards, and actually on the left side here, we're actually going to place down a deep slate wall, so it's going to be a little bit different there. And on the side of the deep slate wall, we're going to place down an item frame with a tripwire hook, and same thing will be done over here. We have a item frame and tripwire hook on the side of that mossy cobblestone wall. Once that's all done there, that's pretty much it. For my Java players, we can do a little bit of quality of life by just going ahead and kind of modifying this, extending the walls forward and back so that they look like they connect. So we're going to go and set them to low like this. And I also went ahead and got rid of the up feature, so it kind of looks like this on the side there. I think that looks really nice for the build. And we're going to do the same thing with this. Basically, remove that up feature. We're going to go ahead and go south to low, north to low. Just for me, it might be east and west depending on the orientation of your tank. And yeah, we have something that looks like that there around it. So just a little bit of quality of life. And of course, we'll go ahead and use our debug stick here and get rid of the wood portion of those pistons. So that right there is going to be everything we need to do for layer number 4 of the build. Here again is a top-down view of what that should look like. And with that, we'll be moving into our final layers, which will be layers 5 and 7. Moving into our final layers, we have layers 5 through 7. These here are just going to focus on those top details for the turret, so it should be pretty quick to knock these out. But anyways, to go ahead and get started with here, we're going to be placing down a flower pot that's going to be on top of this block, as well as a flower pot over here, and a dark oak wood button in the center. We're going to place down a prismarine slab or a mossy cobblestone, whichever, again, depending on your resource pack. Then an item frame on this slab facing forward if you're on Java. And in that item frame, we're going to be placing down a green bed, which we will turn sideways like that. Then on the other side here, on top of this block, we're going to place down a dark oak wood trapdoor. And the last portion of this tutorial really is just going to be focused on the antennas. We're going to place down a dark oak wood button on the center block here. And then we want to place down a end rod, which we'll place down 2 up, and then place this one going down so you have the base, the thicker portion of the end rod on the bottom. And then we're just going to place down 1 iron bar up. On the other side here, on top of this wall, we're going to do the same thing. So we have our end rod like that, and then going up from it, we're going to place down 2 chains going up like that. So we have 2 chains going up, and then forward of it, we're going to go ahead and place down 2 iron bars, and then a lightning rod. I was saying end rod, my apologies, this is actually a lightning rod. So we're placing down the lightning rods below those. And once we have those all complete, that's going to wrap up everything for layers 5 through 7. And with that, that's going to complete my tutorial here for the Centurion Mk.3 main battle tank. Hope you guys do enjoy this build and are able to put it to good use. If you do end up using this build, I do ask you guys to give me proper credit for it. This could be anything from a sign of the build, tweet to my channel, or this video if this does appear in social media sites. As long as you guys give me proper credit for the build, you're free to use it for projects you guys are working on. Other than that, though, that's going to do it for this tutorial. Thank you guys again all so much for watching. As always, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. This has been Garrett 2x4, and I'll see you guys next time.